Around a year ago, I was listening to the internet, and this very wise person said, "You know what's coming? Every smartphone that's going to be made is going to have sort of Trojan horse installed. It's going to scan everything that you do. Everything you touch in the screen is going to be copy and paste it and deliver it to the respective, ministry of truth. And there's nothing you can do about it because it's like a Trojan horse. There's no VPN that's going to hold it. So any interaction that you're going to make is going to be recorded and sent to the Ministry of Truth. This was over a year ago, and it was in the US that they were developing this new thing. Well, now it seems in this part of the world, in the old continent, this project as well, is being talked by people, and multiple countries have denied, this thing. But it seems to me that your opinion doesn't matter, right? When they really want something, they just do it without your consent. Um, so everything that you do in your smartphone is going to be sent to the Ministry of Truth. This, of course, in my opinion, implies retroactive effect. So it's not just what you're gonna write, it's what you already written, They are obsessed with this retroactive thing. You know, when you have when you're having an argument with a woman and they just love to pull the old files, as an argument, it's that same type of thing. There's some, that like to keep score or to keep the old files, so they can pull it, as ammunition, right? And sometimes it doesn't even, makes sense, but they pull it anyway. Why I'm saying this is because, I was listening to this woman. She she's almost like a folklorist, in terms of studying and female behavior and in modern women especially. And she was saying men on the internet, they argue, they pull each other's hairs, quote unquote. They fight, they joke, but at the end of the day, it's not taken seriously. The internet, I always, thought to myself, the internet is not to be taken serious, because you're not face to face with people. You're not face to face. We know automatically that, you know it's not to be taken seriously. Yeah, I mean, you can use it to share, to joke. You can use it to learn. Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense to make this space serious. All right, not to be taken. It's child's play. When men play with each other, it's not taken serious. We fight. When something that men, do, father and sons, they do, they pretend they're fighting. It's the same thing. The internet is the same thing. We pretend that we are fighting. We're having a fight. We are simulating. We are joking. We are playing. We are. At the end of the day, it's nothing personal. We are not doing it, to harm. But like this woman was saying, women don't take it that way. You women take it very seriously. And she said, in one of these forums, a woman felt extremely offended for what was being said. And what was being said didn't relate to her at all. It wasn't about her, but she felt so offended in favor of others. See, the parties concerned, it's between them, right? But this person outside, felt so offended in behalf of others. Again, they were having a moment of uh, the empathic parasites. She was empathizing the parasites, uh, of empathy, took possession of this person, and she actually prosecuted, you know, them in court, pretty much something that had nothing to do with her. But she felt so empathized with what was, she got possessed by the parasites of empathy and used their own resources. So she pretty much meddled in things that she was not supposed to be meddling. And it made a huge, case in which the platform then has to change the rules because some person, that had nothing to do with what was going on felt offended, you know. And the reason why, this is just one example, the reason why, the internet, this place that should never be taken serious, is going full totalitarian is because of this, because people are taking it, personally. They are taking it personally. It's almost like they are the traditional, the traditional. They are identifying. They are identifying with things that doesn't concern them. They're identifying with things that it's not their place to it's really, really weird. Identifying with things that is not the self, identifying with things that doesn't concern them. Mind your own business. That's the thing. The internet is a place that should never to be taken serious. I am still, it was like 20 years ago or something when people started using their smartphones as to access their bank accounts and making payments and movements. And I was like, what? What's going on here? And certainly all the people that work at the bank, at my bank that I used back then, they all got fired, you know. And then there was only one person that stayed inside closed doors, and one person behind a window. If you want to get huge amounts of paper money, there was only two, three people in a bank that used to have like 15 people. Now only had three. And I'm still, what's going on here? I still haven't, moved. I'm still in disbelief. Your phone? I mean, aren't you afraid? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, the hackers, I mean, they are having the best time of their life, the hackers. But that's the thing that they will never tell you about the hacking, yeah. The the what's it called? The theft, the hacking, the crimes that is being committed, the money, the laundry. They are not talking. They will never tell you, how it's become like 1,000% more, you know, um, elevated. They will never tell you. You know why? Because it suits the totalitarian narrative, this digital prison. Everybody's being corralled to, but they will never talk to you about the facts that cyber crimes have augmented like thousands and thousands of percentage. Now, with this new bullshit system that Trojan horse that they want to put, you're gonna to your phone and you're start typing codes to access your shit, and someone else it's gonna know the codes. Someone else is gonna have access to everything. So it's like an open door to your privacy, and that's the thing. Privacy is under attack. And soon there's not going to be any room for privacy, and the Ministry of Truth is going to have access to everything. They pretty much are treating people as being all suspects. Everybody nowadays is a suspect. Yeah, everybody's guilty until proven innocent. So it's similar to a totalitarian regime. And what happened back then? Eventually, totalitarian regimes eventually collapsed because people stopped what? Cooperating. But with the digital thing, you just can't stop cooperating, can you? Well, unless you just shut down power, if you just shut down electricity around you and that's it. With the smart meters, everything. I have companies calling, hey, because they know how many, electric appliances I have at home. They know. And they know before, they know when they are broken, They get a notification. Look, his washing machine is broken. They immediately call you. Do you need a repairment? Or do you want to buy a new? They know before you know that the machine is broken. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And then you would start thinking, when you used to buy, a television or a fridge used to last a lifetime. I remember I was talking to this. I remember this old fridge that was passed from generation to generation, and it was still working. Yeah, this old fridge. You had one door, one compartment. It was really, really simple. It had like 1 meter high, and it just worked. It never stopped functioning. It just passed from hand to hand. As new fridges started invading the market, people started abandoning the old models, and we kind of passed. It's still working. Do you want it? And but nowadays, these appliances are made. Have they have an expiration date? So anyway, uh, it's really dark times ahead. I think really dark times. Uh, anyway, okay. I think I'm gonna shut up. Tell me what you guys think. Have a nice day.